Much as many of racing's greats first descended on Daytona to start each campaign, so too will we here tonight, and one driver will etch their name into racing history, and in this case OP racing history, forever. Good evening, finally, and welcome back to the OP Racing Throwback Series. You're watching live coverage of the season opener of the Throwback Series here live on PGR eSports. My name is Dawson Wise, and for those of you that have not yet been able to join me, welcome. We are glad to have you, and we are so glad this series is back. I'm going to say this a lot. This series, one of the highlights of my week, and we are so fortunate to be back and so fortunate to have a massive field of drivers ready to take on this race from Daytona. You'll get to know my voice over the season. I'll have the play-by-play coverage for you on most Thursday nights this season as we get ready for another campaign where drivers return, drivers debut, a mix of new and old come together for an incredible mix here tonight on PGR eSports. And as we get ready for this race, as hopefully my overlay gives me a little bit of help, and it does, you will notice the overlays on this season. If you were with me the last couple seasons, the colors have changed. That's because the format of this series has changed just a little bit. As we look forward now to about 2007 or so, the Nextel colors aboard the overlays here on the broadcasting side of things. As we kind of look forward, there is a chase format this season. We'll get to that a little bit later. I am late. I had issues technologically that have forced us to be a little bit late. It's a long race, so we're going to get right into it. As I will give the all clear to get the grid rolling. And we are all set there. So now, with no further ado, it's a big grid. It is a new grid. Let's get into it. The old, the new come together, and the storylines will present themselves for the first time. Welcome back to the Throwback Series at Daytona. On the pole, with a time of 48.209 seconds, it is a super speedway regular in OP Racing. It is Rick Sanchez in the 05 to his outside a debuting driver with the Anything EC colors. You saw it aboard the tower. We'll show you that more of that as we go throughout the night. We'll talk about them as well. I'm happy to bring them on board to sponsor the OP Racing Throwback Series this season. He'll carry the colors. It'll be Adam Pettit in the second position, row 2. It'll be Josh Terrett Hill in the 74. Cool story about him later on in the broadcast as well. And to his outside, it's the Season 2 champion. It's Christian Strader, and he returns again trying to avenge another title and have another great campaign here this season. Row 3, it'll be Anthony English, one of our regulars as well. In the number 44 machine, familiar colors, I believe, aboard that car tonight as well. To his outside, it'll be Matthew Karakoff, a new driver as well, the number 20 machine. He'll start from position number 6. Row 4 to be John Guerra, the 59, and Tim Clements making his debut in 8th position. Row 5 rounding out the top 10 to be Rusty Modesty in the 5 machine, and Chad Meadows in the 25. Row 6 to be Kevin Gunther in the 34. He made a few starts last season, if you'll remember. He returns again. It'll be Ron Walters in the 99 making his series debut here tonight in 12th. Row 7, Matt Hayden in the 6. Will return once again. He was the points leader this time last season, and he wants the championship. That season didn't finish. He wants it really, really badly. Alex Green, league owner, he'll be starting from 14. Row 8, a pair of debuting drivers, Garrett Streets in the 33 and Ryan Peters in the 18. Row 9 to be Travis Butte in the 24 and Harold Rothery in the number 7 machine. Harold, good to see him tonight. It's been a while since I've been able to call a race with Harold in it. Good to have him on track. Row 10 rounding out the top 20, Blake Persley in the 9, Sean Kozier in the 97. Row 11, Gregory Bourbonier in the 00. Again, I might be butchering some of these, but we'll get him right throughout the season. He'll start 21st. It'll be Bubba Winningham. Welcome back to the Throwback Series. Bubba, he'll start from 22nd. Another regular, Adam Kilday, will start from 23rd with Chris Puff making his debut. He'll start from 24th. There's Hunter Carlson in the 2 machine, the 32 now. He'll start from 25th. It'll be Casey Pfeiffer starting from 26th. The row 14, Brad Young returns as well in the 89 machine. Alongside him will be the debuting Jim Duda. Row 15, there's where you'll notice the Season 1 champ, Tyler Bentley, makes a return to full-time action in the Throwback Series. He'll start 29th. And Isaiah Dupree, the man he shared so many battles with, he'll share row 15 with him here tonight on the grid. Row 16, Lee Robinson in the 06 makes his debut, along with Aubrey Thompson making his Throwback Series debut, a name familiar to many of you longtime PGR eSports viewers. Row 17, Cody Eltrin had a good season going last season, looks to continue it. Tim Henderson will start 34th alongside him. Row 18, Dustin Herman in the 50, Jeremy Morrow in the 02, both making their debuts. Row 19, Stephen Luttrell in the 82, and Andrew Schroeder Schroeder, a regular in the 48. He'll start 38th. And it'll be Doug Johnson that starts from 39th. We're ready to get it underway. Into the restart zone for the first time. We are back for the Throwback Series. Green flag, we're racing at Daytona. First lap up and down, and that's always a good sign when you can get through the first one with no problems. It's Sanchez and Pettit that continue to go too wide for the lead. It's Tarrant Hill and Schrader along with them. Second in line, it's about an 8-car breakaway here at the front of the field. Back a little further, you see a little blink from Anthony English back to John Guerra, back to Tim Clements. As a couple guys scramble off the racetrack, 100 laps on tap here tonight, and as such, a lot of guys going to go towards the back. A lot of guys going to be pretty conservative. Some more of the specifics for this season. 65% fuel here on the super speedways. It'll be 75% on all non-super speedway tracks. Limited sets of tires. I believe these guys will have a fast repair at their disposal again this season as we get set for another incredible season of racing. We're 2 up, 2 down at Daytona. It is still Sanchez. It is still Adam Pettit. Then it's Josh Tarrant Hill. Then it's Christian Schrader. Now the battle up front begins to grow just a tad. It was 8 cars a moment ago. It's 11, 12 cars. Back to Garrett Streets, who's up 4 spots already. Further back, big gainers. Casey Pfeiffer +7, Chris Puff +6, Bubba Winningham +5. Already on the night as the front pack grows to 14 strong down the Daytona super stretch. And it's still Sanchez and Pettit leading the way. A bit of a gridlock formation here. Rush hour traffic at 195 miles an hour, just the way we like it at the World Center of Racing. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I know I was really rushed. Ooh, man, big move to the outside there for Sanchez. A bit of a lane switch trying to control the momentum. Ooh, big tap there from Pettit. That was a bold push by the 46, but very willing to get into the back of the 05. Push him, trouble. Out back, it's the 21 of Tim Clements that goes sideways onto the apron. No caution, we're going to stay green. Now the caution flag will fly as Clements comes to a stop on the apron just outside turn number 1. It was right as we were going to start talking about some more specifics of the format. And Tim Clements got around. You saw it happen live on your screen towards the tail end of this group. And let's see if we can get a better look at it here. He was 5th on the outside line. Let's see if we can get a little bit better angle of it here. This should be a good one. 5th on the outside line. Right in front of Rusty Modesty, a new look aboard the Toyota this season. Clements gets the wall, and these cars, they don't like to respond well to quick wheel movements, twitchy wheel movements, and unfortunately it's going to turn Clements to his left when he pulls off the wall, collects Modesty. The other car involved is the 33 machine, which I believe is... There's actually no 33. Maybe I'm reading that number wrong. We'll see if we can get a better angle. Actually, the 33 is Garrett Streets. My apologies. I'm getting used to names and numbers still. That's Garrett Streets and Rusty Modesty also involved, but I want to try to give you a bit of a better idea and see if we have a camera for it of kind of how... that's certainly not going to... I'm not sure this one's going to give us much either. The drone camera. No, it's really not. See if it's the normal drone cam. Okay, this one might. And let me show you what I mean here when he comes off the wall. So these cars, number one, they like to slip. They like to slide. They don't have a lot of grip. And Clements kind of feels his car start to roll up the hill and tags the wall. Now watch this. He kind of gets stuck to the wall. You're going to see the 21. He's still stuck. He's still stuck. He's turning his wheel to the left. And as he does, when it finally pulls off the wall, it's a sharp movement to his left because he's not correcting for that. He's just trying to get off the wall. And he gets into Rusty Modesty and Garrett Streets and gets sideways and is going to come to a stop now. We're very lucky that this wasn't any bigger than it actually was. This was about 12th of 39 cars that started this race. That could have been a lot bigger than it was. But for Clements, obviously not the start that he wanted to his OP racing career. And let's go on board with him. I kind of want to show you what I mean here. And this is the best way to do it. Let's go on board real quickly with Tim Clements. And now watch what he's doing here when he gets in the wall. Watch his hands. You're going to see him come out of line. And watch. Left off the wall. And as soon as he comes left off the wall, it hooks hard to the left. And these cars do not correct well. And unfortunately for Clements, an early setback, but not a lot of damage aboard his or other race cars. So back to live action. We'll go up front to the leader under this, the first caution, Josh Terrett Hill. And a quick interesting story about him, that being Josh Terrett Hill, driving the 74. And it's interesting that Josh comes to us, a very special role for Josh outside of what he does obviously on iRacing. And over in Mooresville, he may or may not be the man that puts together the late model race cars for one Dale Earnhardt Jr. for Junior Motorsports. So really cool opportunity to have him here with us, obviously. Prepares some of those cars for the Cars Tour that you'll see Dale Jr. run. The upcoming Budweiser car that everyone was so excited about, myself included. Incredible nod to obviously my childhood and so many others as well, that will run at Florence obviously later this month. So good to have Josh with us, and a really cool opportunity to have someone like that has such an in. I mean, and you want to talk about a nice parallel, throwback to throwback. I mean, Dale Jr. Epitomizes this car, and Josh Terrett Hill comes out. Not only is he debuting, and not only does he have that cool story, he's leading the race too. So cool to have Josh with us here tonight. We're going to get the one to go here. We're going to go green with on lap number 8. Again, double file restarts have returned. The Lucky Dog has returned, a chase format as well. Now, it is not a playoff format. It's not the modern elimination style. It is the chase format, and we'll get more into that again as the night goes, as the season goes. But it's going to be the top, I believe, 10 to 12 in points. I'll double-check that make it into the chase for the OP Racing Throwback Series Championship. I want to touch on real quick that logo you see there in the top left of your screen. As it is anything EC and SM Racing that have come to us. SM Racing, you'll see their logos here in just a little bit. They've sponsored some races this season. They've also brought their branding onto our broadcasting, so good to have them on board. And no better advertising, of course, than the Adam Pettit machine that runs P6, and with the logo aboard the hood. So do want to thank them for coming along. And specifically in terms of anything EC, it's a retail vendor for your car care detail needs, based out of the state of Florida. And they are professional products for professional detail companies. So really glad to have them on board. And some awards to be given later in the season that, again, I'll get to a little bit later in the night. Obviously, we're about to go back under the green flag, so later in the night I'll get to some of those. But some benefits obviously coming here tonight. So we'll get to those here in just a little bit. But again, really glad to have anything EC SM Racing on with us here this season. So we'll get to those later on in the night. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Really nice audience so far. Go ahead and like the stream. Share the link. Subscribe if you like what you see. And let's continue to grow PGR eSports into the platform that it is. A double feature tonight. A race coming up in just about an hour and a half. I'll tell you about that one a little bit later in the night as well. Pace car down the pit lane. We're ready to get back under the green flag. Caution number 1 cleaned up. Green flag back in the air. And it's a great start for Josh Terrett Hill. In the 74 machine, it'll be Anthony English out back of him that will get to second. It'll be Ron Walters third. As you see Terrett Hill, he spread the field out in a big way. He's got a 5-car length lead, and he's going to be caught, but not unlike the next Gen 6 cars. This is not necessarily a death sentence for Josh Terrett Hill. He'll be caught, and these guys might go around him, but certainly not going to lose as much speed as you would otherwise, and they're actually going to start to single out for the lead. Here comes the mellow yellow Chevrolet. That is Anthony English of Monday Series fame, of Wednesday Series fame as well, and of course, the head man over the Saturday Butt Kicker Unlimited Series. It just wrapped up a few weeks ago, as he brings his talents back to the Throwback Series. Saw him a number of times the first 2.5 seasons of this series. Got to victory lane a couple times as well, including at Daytona a season ago. So Anthony English returns to the field, looking to etch another win in his Throwback Series career, but now up on the outside, he's got a challenge. It's John Guerra, I believe. It's actually not John Guerra, a very similar car. Look, actually, it is John Guerra. Excuse me, my scoring was all over the place right there, and John Guerra now populates on the scoring tower, and it's John Guerra that will battle for the lead. Two Monday drivers are up in the top row battling for the lead. It's Brad Young, of course, returning to the series as well. He runs just behind this 59, and then, of course, Adam Pettit, who I talked about a little bit a moment ago. Inside, English, Walters, and Tarrant Hill, and then the very familiar Xerex Valvoline Eagle 1 Ford Taurus. That is Matt Hayden, fourth on the inside, as he looks to avenge a season that he thought he should have been the champion. When we got to the end of that season, the season does not finish, and he does not have the opportunity, but led the points for a majority of the campaign, and returns again now with even more of a vengeance. Behind him is that Coors Light Silver Bullet, the 34. Kevin Gunther, of course, ran some races in that scheme last season as well. And some other drivers starting to come towards the front. One of them is Matthew Karakoff, but he is blinking just a little bit. The Home Depot Chevrolet, the very familiar Tony Stewart colors aboard that machine. Jim Duda as well, he's plus 17. Casey Pfeiffer is plus 16 on the night. Aubrey Thompson plus 19 up to 13th position in the 56. And you might recognize that paint job. Oh man, almost trouble at the front with Anthony English. We'll get back to him in a minute. Oh man, Ron Walters way out of shape on the bumper of Josh Tarrant Hill. But everybody makes it work. Everybody saves it. Now we go back to what I was just talking about. You might recognize the 56, the Ricky Bobby colors aboard Aubrey Thompson's machine. Harold Rothery as well, right in behind him. Several guys coming through the field very early. A lot of big movers. Brad Young as well, plus 22 up to 5th. Still 2x2. Guerra, Young, Pettit, Karakoff. Outside, it's still English, Walters, Tarrant Hill, Hayden, and company on the inside. Now the outside starts to break up. It's about 10 to 12 rows deep, and we'll go back a little ways through the field, trying to get to where everyone is running towards the front. Christian Strader has settled in 12th. Adam Kilday right behind him in 13th at 85. Purple Banner is running for a championship in the Grand National Series. Aubrey Thompson there as well. Harold Rothery, Sean Kozier is also up here. The Sparkle and Shine number 97. Another race sponsor for later in the season at Talladega. Kozier carries those colors. Bubba Winningham back here. Ryan Peters as well. And the Rubbermaid machine, Blake Pursley, the Mopar colors. A lot of new names, a lot of new looks, and we'll get to all of them as the season progresses. But meanwhile, we got some hard racing up front once again. John Guerra to the outside of Anthony English just for the race lead. Another challenge to the 44, and this time the 59 will get out front, and John Guerra will lead the field back to the start-finish line. 12 up, 12 down, lap 13 on the board. 88 laps remain from Daytona. Guerra, he will get clear of English, but he will hang up on the top line in front of Matt Hayden, who found a gap in front of Brad Young, and now he challenges for the race lead, currently challenging for the 3rd position on the 99 of Ron Walters, who I believe is his teammate this season. Misfits Motorsports grows just a little bit as this season gets underway. In fact, it does appear that Ron Walters is running with them. Harold Rothery might be with them as well. We'll get some verification on that as the season goes on. So we'll look at some other teams. Of course, some of the regulars running together, Kilday and Alex Green and guys like that run on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. They are running together also. Christian Strader, Hunter Carlson, back in the series as well. We might have some teams forming, and again, as the season goes on, we'll get a better idea of exactly what we're looking at with that. As we get further and further into the season, the heated battle for the lead continues. Guerra outside, English inside. They work their way down the super stretch and climb the banking again into 3 and 4. Big surge on the bottom. Ron Walters doing a really good job keeping Anthony English out front. It's all the doctor ordered with a mellow yellow Chevrolet Impala running up at the front of the field. I see Bubba Winningham back there as well. Bright yellow 66, impossible to miss back there for Bubba Winningham. Glad to have Bubba back in the series as well. He runs a respectable 18th right now on the racetrack early in the going here at Daytona. Not a ton of movement right now. This is kind of gridlock. This is what these cars can produce, and these guys aren't really running very hard. You see a few bumps here and there. Tarrant Hill, Walters have been aggressive, but Matt Hayden up top really hasn't been that aggressive with pushing yet. You haven't seen any 3 wide. It's very calm before the storm right now, where these guys are trying to log laps trouble. Car in the wall, further back. There's the Matthew Karakoff machine, but he's able to get it underneath him. And some of these guys have dropped way off the pace. Blake Pursley came to pit road. A few other guys back here, Jeremy Morrow and Alex Green. Jeremy Morrow carrying the SM Racing colors. But some of these guys have dropped way out of the field. Karakoff was able to get it going. Look at Josh Tarrant Hill. Big move from the 74 to jump in behind John Guerra as Matt Hayden was way off the bumper of the 59. Brad Young going to drop top to bottom, and now the movement starts to begin just a little bit. Guys are getting their feet under them now. They're getting more comfortable with the guys around them, and now they're starting to try to make moves to make up positions. And you see it most notably in the 74, the 6. The 34 of Kevin Gunther as well cycled forward also as we hit lap 17. Guerra solidly to the lead now. Will he drop down? No, he will hang up top right in front of Josh Tarrant Hill as English surges back to the bottom with the help of Walters, Gunther, Jim Duda, and Brad Young. The other car coming forward is Casey Pfeiffer, the 87, that maroon and black. Tracker Boats Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet outside. He's about 5th in line behind Adam Pettit and right in front of Harold Rothery in the Menards PPG colors. So now starting to be some movement among these drivers. They're starting to figure it out. Again, early in the season you're going to see this where guys are not necessarily as comfortable with the guys around them at first. It takes a little bit for them to say, okay, you know, I haven't raced you before. And that even counts for guys like Matt Hayden and Christian Strader and Alex Green, guys that have been here from day one. Even they're going to say, okay, these guys are a little bit new. I'm going to wait and see what I can expect, and then I'll start moving forward. And that's exactly what guys like Matt Hayden have done. They waited, and in fact, one out back. Started that 3rd lane, the very familiar blue and red DuPont Chevrolet. That is Travis Butte. And again, I might be saying that wrong, but again, as the season goes on, I'm going to get these names down. I was going to try to get some assistance tonight. I did from a couple, so thank you to the drivers that reached out to me. Oh, man, big moment there. Tarrant Hill. I'll tell you what. I'll finish my thought real quick first, and I'll get to that. But thank you to the drivers that reached out and kind of guided me on how to pronounce your name. Please feel free to do that. I want to make sure it's right for both you and for the viewers that are watching for you as well. I want to make sure that I'm getting the name right so that they know who to look for. Then they know where you are on track, and that, you know, when these drivers come back and watch it back as well, providing the best for them. Tarrant Hill, is he going to split Guerra? He thought about it. Let me get to my point about Josh Tarrant Hill. Debut in the series, has never raced a race in this series. Was just, these guys, especially the ones that have been around now for a few weeks since kind of the operation to recruit drivers began. These guys have been antsy. And that counts for the veterans too. These guys have wanted to race really badly. In fact, we were going to race, I think, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It got pushed back, and it got pushed back again, and now here we are tonight. But it got pushed back, and these guys just had to continue to wait. And now you see certain guys that have waited a while, they are ready to go. And Josh Tarrant Hill, by far, has been the most aggressive pusher tonight. He's made some of the most aggressive moves tonight. As such, got himself in a really nice position here, second on the outside, right behind the John Guerra machine as we reach the 20% mark. 20 up, 20 down, 80 laps to go from Daytona. And now we start to think about pit stops. And it's something that became a staple of this series over the last 2.5 seasons. And that is, how do you handle on and off pit road, especially when it is so crucial on a super speedway, and we are getting close to that number now. But you're going to have to start to think about it. You're going to have to plan your entry. You're going to have to find some help, find some dancing partners to get on pit road with you, get off pit road with you, and make sure you maintain your track position. We'll go through a rundown of at least the top 20 here in just a moment. The field about to lap past the Pursley machine, so let's make sure everybody gets past this okay. Everybody's starting to single out, so shouldn't be a ton of issues here getting past Blake Pursley, and everybody will without much harm. As Persley goes a lap down, maybe not. Persley to the outside wall. We went a little bit too far. And Persley is actually going to bring it to a stop and go to pit road. So not the ending of the night I'm sure that Persley wanted, as he will take his machine down to the pit box and be one of the first ones off the racetrack, I would imagine, here on lap 21. John Guerra finally drops top to bottom on the bumper of Anthony English, leaves Tarrant Hill and Hayden to lead that outside lane now on lap 22. And some more guys starting to come forward now. Aubrey Thompson, Bubba Winningham, Lee Robinson as well, plus 18 on the night. He's up to 13th, his highest running position of the evening so far. It can be said for a lot of this top 12 group. Save for Guerra, Tarrant Hill, English, Pettit. They all started generally up front. The rest of them plus 5 or more. And several plus 10 or more, but towards the back half of the top 10. 2 by 2, 10 rows deep here at the front. Guerra on the inside. It's Tarrant Hill on the outside. Hayden starting to get a little more aggressive now, trying to move that line forward, but the bottom. 2 super speedway veterans here in OP. They know exactly what they're doing, but a blink from Anthony English. How does that affect the runoff for? Well, it does in just a minor way, as Tarrant Hill will edge ahead for the lead. He will lead the lap. Josh Tarrant Hill, the 74. Still 2 by 2, approaching our first green flag pit stop of the night. The OP Racing Throwback Series event from Daytona. In a moment, as we get closer to that stop, we'll go through. Actually, we may hold the rundown until after the pit stop. Oh, man, almost another split. Anthony English looking to the inside. It's going to allow Tarrant Hill to get all the way clear. He'll go all the way top to bottom. New leader at Daytona, the 74 of Josh Tarrant Hill. Outside now, Hayden, Pettit, Pfeiffer, Thompson, Winningham, Robinson, Doug Johnson. Well, now Robinson drops out the Monster Chevrolet, but Doug Johnson stays up. Metallic red Chevrolet further back. Harold Rothery up top as well. The field is clearly now starting to think towards pit stops outside the top 15. So we'll hold the rundown. We're going to wait till these guys make a cycle of pit stops, and then we will go from there as to the rundown of where the field stands. Matt Hayden challenges for the lead. He'll get halfway clear. He's not going to quite get all the way home, but he'll run up alongside the Tarrant Hill machine, and Matt Hayden trying to lead his first lap of this young season. And there's no other guy that wants to do so than Matt Hayden. He'll edge ahead of Tarrant Hill. Will he keep the push? He will. Matt Hayden's on the board. First lap led for what would have likely been the defending champ of this series. Speaking of defending champions, Season 1 champion finds himself well off the lead draft. Over 9 seconds back. Tyler Bentley. In the 55, as he's got Tim Henderson with him in the 52. Garrett Streets, Cody Eldred, Gregory Bourbonier, and Rick Sanchez, our pole sitter, all find themselves in this, what essentially has become a second group. And here's a look at them. And then even further back, Chad Meadows, Dustin Herman by themselves. Then even further back from them is this group with Isaiah Dupree, Chris Puff, Tim Clements, who was involved in that lap 5 incident, Matthew Karakoff, Stephen Luttrell, and then even further back, Jeremy Morrow and Alex Green. In 37-38 is Andrew Schroeder, who has some damage aboard that car, and Blake Persley is out of tonight's race. Well, speaking of Andrew Schroeder, about to go a lap down to the leaders, they are right behind him. Up the banking of turns 3 and 4. As Matt Hayden will go, was in the lead, then lost it again. As they continue to work their way around this racetrack, this race is going by in a hurry. Lap 28 on the board, 73 to go. And I feel like now it's generally calm enough to get into some of these bonuses. So let's kind of explain what a couple of these are. And it's from Anything EC, and it's the Clean Driver Award. Let's kind of explain this. It's the lowest combined incident points in a segment of races. It'll be a $10 prize. There'll be 4 winners total. There's 4 segments. Here are the following segments. Segment 1, 5 races long. Daytona, Las Vegas, Rockingham, Kansas, Darlington. Segment 2, Chicagoland, Richmond, Michigan, Watkins Glen, Talladega. Segment 3, Bristol, Pocono, Iowa, Auto Club, and Daytona again. Segment 4, Atlanta, Charlotte, Martinsville, Texas, Homestead. So again, 5 race segments. And here's how to be eligible. You must complete 75% of the laps for a race to count towards a segment. You must compete in at least 4 of the races per segment. The highest incident race will be a throwaway race, a drop race per se, per segment. So essentially you're going to be counted for 4 races a segment. The highest incident count's thrown out. If you have the lowest incident count in those 4 races of any given segment, you're going to win a little bit of money, courtesy of Anything EC. So thanks to them, we'll be explaining that again more as the season goes on and as we learn who wins those awards. Field really singling out. We're about to get into pit stops, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time this season, green flag pit stops are about to get underway from the Daytona International Speedway. Matt Hayden fully goes to the lead now in front of Josh Terrett-Hill. Adam Pettit, Casey Pfeiffer, Bubba Winningham. A couple other drivers up top, Kevin Gunther and Lee Robinson. Everybody else, back to Christian Strader, is on the bottom side, ringing the double yellow and waiting this pit stop out. 70 to go at the line. We'll learn a lot about the fuel range of these cars on this first run as well. Field works its way past the starter. Valvoline Ford Taurus, very familiar words that I was saying a lot last season. He leads once again here at Daytona. As I try to start to get accustomed to some of the new camera angles that I'm trying out, experimenting a little bit this season. And I'm really messing around now. Pit stops, Josh Terrett-Hill will drop to the inside. He'll bring a few with him. Brad Young, Ron Walters. 3 cars pit on lap 32. They made it about 22 laps under green, 25 laps total on that tank of fuel, and the pit stop cycle is underway from the World Center of Racing. Pfeiffer, I thought he had a spot on the bottom. Not going to take it. Going to try to get to the race lead instead. As Adam Pettit got down in front of Matt Hayden. That is for the lead, but not for long. Pfeiffer's going to get clear. Bubba Winningham might get clear. Kevin Gunther's going to get awfully close. Top 2 going to drop in. That is Pfeiffer and Winningham. Casey Pfeiffer leading his first moments here in the OP Racing Throwback Series on lap 32. Do we have any more takers here on 32? We do not. They're going to stay on the racetrack one more time. So Pfeiffer, credit him. Lap led, bonus point for Casey Pfeiffer. As we are a third of the way through this one already. Brad Young coming off pit road. Gonna have to be careful to blend with the field. Oh man, Kevin Gunther blinks a little bit right in front of Lee Robinson. He blinks again and again. They keep it going, but Josh Terrett-Hill, there he goes going a lap down. As he loses considerable ground to the field. Almost trouble. Trouble back around John Guerra. But he gets it straightened out. Couple more cars coming to pit road. Bubba Winningham smoking the tires. Doug Johnson in some trouble out back. Adam Kilday going to boot it. Rusty Modesty boots it as well. But Winningham and Johnson are on pit road. On lap 33, now make it 34. Robinson gets to second. Thompson gets to third. Gunther will get in fourth. And the field is very spread out right now. This could provide a serious opportunity for some of these guys to break away. Through 3 and 4, one to the outside. Duda's going to look for another spot here. This guy's potentially coming to pit road. There we go. Lee Robinson will come to pit road. But he'll come by his lonesome. Tough break there for Lee Robinson. Nobody jumps out to help. Now Jim Duda, the race lead. He'll have help from the Ricky Bobby colors of Aubrey Thompson. Pfeiffer on the bottom. He's still blinking. Kevin Gunther runs second in line. Adam Pettit, Travis Butte. There's the lap car of Tarrant Hill, Matt Hayden, Anthony English, John Guerra, Hunter Carlson, Christian Schrader, Harold Rothery. It's only back to Schrader. Top 12 are in the draft. Everybody else still struggling to find it. Lap 35 up and down off turn 4. Who else is going to pit? Couple more cars. Adam Pettit, Kevin Gunther, Casey Pfeiffer. And their cars down to speed. Gunther may very well have been speeding. Looked awfully quick at the pit entry line. We'll wait the cycle to see if in fact he does incur a penalty. New leader Travis Butte, he leads his first laps in the Throwback Series, and this is going to work out extremely well for Josh Tarrant Hill. He's going to drive all the way to the front of this line and have a chance potentially to blend with the leaders when they come off pit road next time he comes around. He's going to drive all the way to the front. Tarrant Hill goes from a lap down now to unlapping himself, and now will have a chance potentially, along with Bubba Winningham, who's already pitted, to maybe blend back with the leaders. More cars on pit road, a bunch of them coming this time. English, Duda, Thompson, Guerra, Hayden, Strader, Carlson, Rothery will all make their pit stops. First of the night for them. As Travis Butte, Ryan Peters stay on the Speedway one more time. Sean Kosher stays out as well in the 97. He's with the lap machine of Brad Young. And these two I would expect, the last two, I believe, to make their official pit stops now, will be coming this time. I would imagine the Henderson Bentley Bourbonier group is in as well. Butte and Peters going to be the last two holdouts, and this is going to work really nicely for Josh Tarrant Hill and Bubba Winningham, I think. Butte will take the left. Here comes Ryan Peters. Oh, man, get that thing down to speed. 24, fast at the line. Well, he may have been good. We'll see. Ryan Peters right in behind him. Sean Kosher will pit also as they hit their pit boxes for the first time tonight. And Peters slides through. So now we try to figure out who exactly is going to cycle in front of the field. Well, it's Anthony English, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to make this work, as he is all by his lonesome besides Alex Green. This is not going to work for him. Two cars are not going to work alone. They're going to have some company here in just a moment from one of these groups that came down pit road. By the time all's said and done, we're going to end up with a couple of distinct groups here. But I think a couple that come together to make our big front pack once everything kind of cycles back out. I'm watching the gap between Aubrey Thompson and John Guerra to see if that group still has the draft, but they should. English leads, but he's got company on the way. He's going to be able to catch some cars now, so maybe not. That group behind him is going to have to get organized and get in line and run him down, because now English has some lap cars in his little pack here. It's the 91 of Chris Puff, the 02 of Jeremy Morrow. And English has held serve so far against that second pack. Eventually, I do believe the numbers will benefit, especially with these cars working as bridges between Anthony English and that second pack, and then that pack behind them that's starting to run them down as well, with Guerra, Hayden, Tarrant Hill, Robinson, Winningham, Strader, and Carlson, and maybe Butte, and maybe Peters. We may end up with 15 cars in the lead pack by the time all is said and done, so they can basically go about 25 laps, 25 to 27 laps on a tank, which really leaves us 2 pit stops remaining for the entire night. It's English out front, but they are getting caught, and caught quickly. I hadn't quite realized how quick this gap is closing up. It went from a second and a half to a half a second in a quarter of a lap around this speedway. And here comes Adam Pettit. He's got a huge run on this lead group. He's got Casey Pfeiffer with him. He's got Jim Duda. He's got Aubrey Thompson, Kevin Gunther. Now is when that group with John Guerra, they're really going to have to start to go to work now. As English, I will expect to jump out here when Pettit gets to him. For now, going to hang in. That group is catching them. John Guerra and company, they are catching this one. They are a ways back still. Travis Butte, Ryan Peters are going to lose this group. It's going to be 13 lead lap cars total in the lead group, and we'll do a rundown here once this group catches back up, the Guerra, Hayden, Tarrant Hill group. We'll do a full field rundown, kind of show you exactly where everybody is on track. New leader, Adam Pettit, drives right around Anthony English. Pfeiffer, Duda, Thompson with him. As Pettit carrying the sponsors' colors, anything EC. Gets her up and around Anthony English, who's kind of stuck in a line of lap traffic right now. Guerra, Hayden, Tarrant Hill, and company have caught the lead draft. It's 13 lead lap cars, along with some lap down machines as well, in this lead group. Getting close to halfway. A significant group, 17th through 20th. That's 4 cars together. A couple more cars together, like 22nd, 23rd, 24th right here by the leaders. That's Green, Huff, and Morrow. Doug Johnson's in this lead group as well. He is a lap down to 25th. Everybody else is laps down. All right, let's go through a full field rundown. Let's show you where everybody is following this cycle of pit stops. Lap 43 ticks on, and let's show you where everybody is. Adam Pettit leads the race. He is that 46 machine. Behind him, Casey Pfeiffer, then Anthony English on the inside, the mellow yellow machine. Jim Duda runs 4th, and Aubrey Thompson runs in 5th. It's Lee Robinson in 6th, John Guerra in 7th, Bubba Winningham 8th, Matt Hayden 9th, Josh Tarrant Hill in 10th, Kevin Gunther in 11th, Christian Strader back in 12th, Hunter Carlson in 13th is the final lead lap car in this group. Ryan Peters runs 14th with Travis Butte in 15th. These are these 2 cars right here. Tyler Bentley runs in 16th with Harold Rothery in 17th. Rick Sanchez in 18th. Garrett Streets is 19th. Excuse me, now Brad Young is 19th. And Garrett Streets is 20th. Gregory Bourbon-Air now jumps to 19th. So move Garrett Streets to 20th. Sean Kozier is 21st. Cody Eldred is 22nd. Tim Henderson is 23rd. And Rusty Modesty is 24th. 25th. Adam Kilday runs 26th with Isaiah Dupree in 27th. Chad Meadows is 28th. Stephen Luttrell is 29th. Ron Walters is 30th. Alex Green is 31st. Chris Puff is 32nd. Jeremy Morrow is 33rd. Those 3 cars all 1 lap down. Doug Johnson also 1 lap down. Tim Clements runs 35th. He is also 1 lap down. Andrew Schroeder runs 36th. I believe he is also still only 1 lap down, along with Dustin Herman back in 37th. 2 cars out of tonight's race. 1 car out of tonight's race. Matthew Karikoff in 39th. Blake Persley has returned to the track, multiple laps down in 38th. So that's a full field rundown for you at this point in the race. And now we're starting to get a little bit racy up front. Alex Green going to try to unlap himself the hard way on the bumper of Casey Pfeiffer, waiting on a potential caution to save his race. Pfeiffer, as such, he'll use that as to his advantage. He'll get to the race lead. Ooh, but almost followed Alex down there. That would have been disaster for the front of the field. Pfeiffer able to hold on to it and able to maintain the battle for the lead. 5 laps short of halfway. And again, as racing is entered, not a lull. I think lull is the wrong word to use. Just kind of this calm moment between pit stops. Do want to thank everybody that's in the chat. Faster Pastor iRacing team, I believe that's Stoney Benfield. Stoney, good to have you back. I believe he's going to be back with us this season. Sorry to miss tonight. Watching from Ecuador. Well, enjoy Ecuador. I'm glad to have you out here tonight. Matt Hayden in chat. Practidamus, I believe that's TJ Spainhour that ran some races last season. Good to see him as well. NASCAR man YT's in the field. I'm about to figure out who that is. Started P26. I'll have to go back after the race and figure out who that was. Woes888, hello. Glad to have you as well. Billy Cooper is back, ready for Brad Young. And I can answer the question about Brad showing his out. So Now, iRacing, for whatever reason, does not want to show me all the cars at the same time, per se. So some of them, it pretends like they aren't actually on track. Brad Young is on track. He is right back here in 14th, leading this second group of cars, about 13 seconds back at the leaders. So Brad Young very much on track and very much still out here. He is currently running in the 14th position, so he's not out of the race. That's a technical issue with iRacing. Dylan Lane MMA rooting for Anthony English. Anthony running well right now, second on the inside. Thank you to everybody coming out in chat as well. Did say this was a double feature. There is another race coming up here in about a half an hour here on PGR eSports, and it is the PGR Intimidator Super Speedway Series. It's the Gen 6 cars at the Daytona International Speedway, so actually Daytona double feature as well, as we will take the old Gen 6 cars for a spin once again tonight, and some huge names in the field tonight you will want to watch. Of course, the regulars, former Coke Series drivers Malik Ray, Garrett Maines, but I believe we're going to have current Coke Series drivers like Daniel Falkingham in the field, Steven Wilson potentially in the field. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series driver Rajah Caruth will be in the field tonight for the Intimidator Super Speedway Series, as well as former Coke Series and Podium 500 champ. He's won about everything he can on the service. Casey Kerwin planning to run tonight as well. So a lot of massive names, along with all the regulars that are just as capable as well. You will not want to miss tonight's edition of the Intimidator Super Speedway. And, oh man, almost trouble. I'll get to that in just a second, but we almost got trouble out here. Back here on Alex Green. This is kind of, the field's kind of split up a little bit here. Pfeiffer and company have kind of lost touch with a few of these top cars. They got to line up and get together and try to run these guys down, as these guys have drafted off the back of some of the lap cars. They got to try to either line up or do something and get back to the race leaders in order to maintain their track position here, but I think they're going to, as they get the lap cars as a bridge. They're, I believe, also going to get back as well. So, yeah, C. Bundy, I wish I could show you my settings mid-race, so I've actually changed that setting more than once. You know, uninstall, reinstall, change the setting, and it is yet to work. So, I mean, yeah, if you have any solutions beyond that, but I mean, I could show you my settings. I have it actually on 60, I believe, to show me all the cars on track, and for some reason, it's something on my end that I have to fix, and I have to go through iRacing support, so it's a technical issue, and again, believe me, I've had that setting up, I think, for the entire time I've had this service, and I've had the problem the whole time. So I do appreciate the suggestion. Obviously, appreciate you chiming in chat as well. But I mean, I wish I could show you right now that my setting is correct. Oh, Anthony English, that was almost a really ill-advised push. Okay, so the packs have caught each other again. As everybody checks up now, this is a really big front group again. This is where the danger starts to grow a little bit. Isaiah Dupree, Aubrey Thompson, Adam Kilday, a couple of others going either 1 or 2 laps down. As we are halfway home, 50 up, 50 to go at Daytona, and 3 wide. Nope, they backed out of it. I thought we were going to be 3 wide for the first time. Back around Alex Green, back around Casey Pfeiffer, but Casey, very solid there to back out of the gas and make sure to cut Alex some slack there, not force anything that's a little bit too early still. You'll notice the sun is starting to go down as well. We may end up under the lights tonight. It looks like it's gotten darker. Maybe it hasn't, and I'm just crazy, but I think it looks to be a little bit darker than it was when we started, so we'll see if the lights come on towards the tail end of this race. As Adam Pettit continues to lead the way. His debut, he's got the sponsorship on the hood that's here on the broadcast tower, and so far making good on his first race in the series. So Adam Pettit doing well. We're actually going to get the ticker up there as well. I'll let it scroll, show you where everybody is. Get a couple more of those logos on there, as well as SM Racing is a couple of their cars are up here towards the front of the pack. They aren't on the lead lap. They are towards the front of the pack. Jeremy Morrow and Chris Puff both running the SM Racing colors. Of course, Sparkle and Shine will join us later in the season as well, as Sean Kozier has their colors. Pettit on the inside, Duda on the outside. Challenge for the race lead at 50 machine is Dustin Herman, and he is 2 laps down. Let's keep that in mind. Herman not racing for position is definitely darker here on the front stretch than it was when we started. We're going to be under the lights before this one is said and done, most likely. So we have a new leader, Jim Duda, first laps led in his career in the Throwback Series, and get used to hearing those words. You're going to hear them a lot, especially in these super speedway races. A lot of new names, new faces in this series this season. An injection of life, an injection of new drivers that are ready to make an impact. Duda, Pettit, English, Thompson, Robinson, your top 5. Guerra, Pfeiffer, Hayden, Winningham, Strader make up the remainder of the top 10. That 54 is on the board. There'll be 46 laps to go. And we'll start to approach another pit stop here. 25 laps will put us anywhere in between now and lap 60 for when we should expect that second round of green flag pit stops that will again continue to thin the herds, what we like to say in super speedway racing, eliminate more cars, barring a late race caution, of course. It could be, I guess not enough GPU. I mean, of course, I've had this problem since I got this graphics card. It's a 3060 Ti with plenty of processing power behind it. I think it's an iRacing issue. Everything else runs perfectly well. I've had no problems. So I imagine it's some kind of iRacing issue. But again, I do appreciate the suggestions. And I appreciate you chiming in as well. I appreciate everybody that's chimed in and that's watching tonight. A really nice audience as well. I said that earlier, I'll say it again. Those of you that have stuck around here for 56 laps and are joining me for the final 45. Glad you're here. Glad you've come out to check out this Throwback Series. It's a fun group to watch. It's a fun series. Kind of a different concept than you're used to seeing, I'd imagine. As Jim Duda will go to the race lead. He will clear down in front of Adam Pettit. He will go all the way to the point. Jim Duda gets all the way to the race lead. So the top 3 on the bottom are all for position. Aubrey Thompson is the first car for position on the outside, along with Lee Robinson. Then behind them, the next car for position is Matt Hayden, way back here. He is running 6th, behind about 8 lap cars right now. So the field is fanned out. A lot of lap machines here in the middle stages. Oh, man, Isaiah Dupree trying to go bottom to top. Lee Robinson was there. Goodness, big moment there. Now the top 4 on the bottom are lead lap cars. And then Robinson, and then Guerra, Pfeiffer, Winningham. You see them back there in front of Matt Hayden. They are for position as well. 2x2 up front, but again, this is not for the race lead. It is not for position. Jim Duda is the car on the inside, the black, white, and blue Chevrolet with the green and blue numbers. That is the leader. Dustin Herman, the all-white 50 on the outside, is not for position. The 25 behind him is also not for position. That is Chad Meadows. Aubrey Thompson is for position. And the Ricky Bobby machine, the 56, third on the outside. Schroeder is not. Isaiah Dupree is not. Adam Kilday, you see back there with the purple spoiler, he is not for position either. And the 2 cars behind him also not racing right now for position. That's the 82 of Stephen Luttrell and the 99 of Ron Walters. Then it's more cars for position. That's where you'll find Winningham and Guerra and Pfeiffer and Hayden and Strader and Carlson, Gunther and Josh Tarrant Hill that round out the 13 lead lap cars in this very bloated pack. Again, a second round of pit stops coming up here any moment. The next few laps, I'd imagine, is when these guys will start to make their pit stops. They will not be able to make it after this one. They'll have one more likely late in this race when things are starting to get a little bit antsy. Danny Barnes chiming in the chat. Appreciate the kind words. And glad to be back. Look, for those of you that haven't been around either PGR eSports or the Throwback Series, it's been a while since I've been on the microphone. I've been on a couple times in the last month or so, but not really anything consistent. And I've missed it a lot. And obviously, life comes first. The schedule does not like to allow for it sometimes. But I'm really glad to be back. Really glad, again, that Alex and company that helped run this league, that helped run the Throwback Series specifically, were willing to give me another opportunity to come out and ramble about racing for 3 hours and watch some fun throwback racing. Glad to have this opportunity once again and bring the banner of PGR eSports as well. A relationship that started towards what ended up being the end of last season that I look to carry forward. And it's bringing PGR eSports into the OP world with this Throwback Series. Of course, Austin Green, my colleague, did the Grand National Series for OP Racing throughout the playoffs. So the PGR relationship continues to grow, and I'm certainly grateful for the opportunity to come out and grateful to have you all joining me here on a beautiful Thursday night. And the pack has started to single out further back along. You see them along the double yellow line, and you know what that means. Pit stops are imminent here at Daytona. Again, another twist in the race is about to go down as pit stops get ready to get underway on lap 61. 40 to go even. Anybody this time? No takers yet. Aubrey Thompson split to the middle. First three wide action of the night. Thompson and Winningham through the middle. As they get past Chad Meadows, excuse me. And they try everything they can to find a spot in line. They actually may get granted a spot in line here. Well, I thought Pettit was going to give it to him. He does not. Matt Hayden, Christian Strader, Hunter Carlson, a couple other cars out back as well trying to make their way forward. Casey Pfeiffer, Chris Gunther. As Thompson pulls even with the 50 of Herman, the lap car, but can't get clear of him. Neither can Winningham. They're going to have a little bit more help starting to come to him now. 62 laps, and here we go. Some pit stops further back. As I try to figure out who that was coming to pit road. For the life of me, I can't figure it out. Go back up front to figure out who that was on pit road. Might have been one of the lap cars. Might have been why I couldn't see it. Josh Terrett Hill as well. Another early pit stop for him here on lap 63. He'll try to have the same luck he did last cycle and get back out in front of the field. Thompson still can't get clear. It's Duda back to the lead. Thompson, quick move inside though, and he'll tuck in right on the back bumper of Duda. Good move there by Thompson to fill that gap that Pettit left, whether intentionally or otherwise. Good move for him to jump down, and that killed the momentum of the outside line in behind Chad Meadows as they are going backwards. Duda, Thompson, Pettit, English, Robinson, the top five. Then Winningham in sixth. He's also found a spot along the bottom of the racetrack. You see Meadows up top. He's a lap car. Behind him, Hayden, Strader, Carlson, Pfeiffer, Gunther, all lead lap cars trying to make up spots. See, Lee Robinson thought about it as well, the monster shimmer. To stay put, probably as he should. As pit stops loom. If they could make it to 75 or 70 even at this point, I'd say they could make it. Maybe they still can. If they can get to 70, this is going to get really interesting. In fact, they may not even have to make it that far. Let's see how far they can make it here. This might be the last pit stop of the race. And 65% tank. 30 laps is about on numbers, so if they can make it to 70, this is going to get really interesting in the latter stages of this race. Turn 4, but now we have some takers, and eliminate that out of your mind. Aubrey Thompson, Jim Duda, Lee Robinson, Adam Pettit, Casey Pfeiffer, Kevin Gunther, all on pit road this time by, and caution is on the Speedway. And, well, believe we may or may not see it here. It's going to be for Chad Meadows. We may not see it. Let's see. We are going to see it. He was actually in the lead group. It's Chad Meadows. He's got Matt Hayden behind him. Oh. A little bit of contact out back from Matt Hayden as he likely checked up for Dustin Herman. And that gets Meadows way out of shape. He slides sideways. Gets a piece of the outside retaining wall. And I think it's just going to lock it down and come to a stop. I think that's why the caution flag flies here. Or does he collect somebody else coming back down the racetrack? Nope. Right here, he's going to get enough around that the iRacing officials have deemed it worthy of a caution and have thrown the yellow flag on the Speedway for the second time. We'll get another look at this bump from Matt Hayden in the tri-oval. You can see it right here. Right there, it's got a little bit of a bad piece of him. It shot that car to the right. It got it way unhappy underneath Chad Meadows. He spun sideways enough to bring the caution flag out. And comes to a stop, actually gets it back rolling, but does have some right rear damage. Watch a couple more angles of this. I don't know if the drone cam will show us much here. So you see Herman, he comes up. Meadows has to jab the brakes. And when he jabs the brakes, Hayden's going to get right in the back of him. And see, it shoots him left. Now watch this correct back to the right, and this thing just whips out of shape. Right there. As he tries to correct it, it tail whips. Slaps the outside wall. Locks it down, and it's right here. It's this half spin that's actually going to draw the caution. As he locked it down enough that, again, iRacing deemed it worthy of a yellow flag. Let's go on board with Matt Hayden here. As you're going to very quickly tell there's not much he can do here. On board Matt Hayden. And watch how fast this happens. Bink. And there he goes. It happened so fast. And you really, from there, couldn't even hardly tell that he was slowing down. And unfortunately for Meadows, he's going to go to a stop in his pit box. Well, this is going to completely shake the running order of this race up as guys come down pit road. Guys potentially get back on the lead lap. That have already come down pit road. So this is going to make things really interesting. We're going to have to reset the field for you. It's Hunter Carlson that currently had the lead. But he may have incurred a pit road penalty. He's going backwards, so it'll actually be Sean Kozier that inherits the race lead. The Sparkle and Shine, number 97. One of our race sponsors for later in the season. He'll go to position number 1. It'll be Bubba Winningham. Moses Chevrolet, the Chevyland Chevrolet, in position number 2. Wait and see who cycles forward to P3 here. It's Kevin Gunther, the Coors Light Silver Bullet. He'll go to P3. Jim Duda, I believe, will be in position number 4. Well, or did he incur a pit road penalty? Well, now Kozier's going to pit, so we're going to have to reset this as guys start to pit. Several guys going to come back, top off, Duda included. So, as we come by the start-finish line, Bubba Winningham will actually be a race leader. Bubba ticks on a bonus point. Casey Pfeiffer will start second. Anthony English will be third. Lee Robinson will be fourth. Greg Bourbonier will be fifth. Saving grace for Tyler Bentley. Welcome back to the Throwback Series. He's in 6th. Tim Henderson is in 7th. Then it's Duda in 8th. Christian Strader in 9th. And Matt Hayden rounding out the top 10. Also saving graces for John Guerra, Cody Eldridge, Sean Kozier, Ryan Peters, Rick Sanchez back on the lead lap in 18th. Rusty Modesty in 20th. Garrett Streets, Jeremy Morrow, Brad Young, Josh Terrett Hill, Alex Green, Stephen Luttrell, Tim Clements all scored on the lead lap. Green and company. Green, Young, Luttrell, Clements are actually a lap down. My apologies. Besides that, a lot of guys that were not on the lead lap a moment ago are back on the lead lap. 23 total cars on the lead lap. As we get ready to go back under the green flag with 31 laps to go. And a great sight here. Bubba Winningham is going to lead us back into the restart zone. Field will work its way down the banking off turn number 4. It'll be a 31-lap sprint to the finish. They cannot, I assume, they cannot make it on fuel. We'll see if they can or not. It's going to be awfully close if you can save. I think they're going to need one more caution to make it all the way. Winningham, Pfeiffer, and the rest of the field work back into the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We're back racing again on lap 70. Good start bottom side for Winningham and company. Good start top side for Pfeiffer and English. As Bentley and Henderson look on, their first opportunity to run up front. What can they do with it? The banking of 1 and 2. Winningham on the inside, Pfeiffer on the outside. Rest of the field gets up to speed out behind them as guys try to find their spots in line and work their way to the front. New leader on the backstretch, it's Casey Pfeiffer. Will he drop in front of Winningham? Going to be clear, but not by much, and he will hang up on the bumper of Anthony English. Winningham back to the bottom. Looking again for the race lead. Greg Bourbonier watching on from 5th. Jim Duda back up front as well. Strader inside the top 10 as well as Hayden. Aubrey Thompson watches on from further back. 30 laps to go at Daytona. The lights are on. The sun going down on the front stretch grandstands. And as the lights come on, the intensity will get higher and higher and higher. The temperature will rise despite the sun going down as we get closer and closer to the checkered flag in the first round of Season 4 of the Throwback Series. Casey Pfeiffer trying to lead on the outside. Winningham holding him off on the inside with Lee Robinson. 29 to go at the line. Guys out back starting to get a little more antsy. Aubrey Thompson, John Guerra, Kevin Gunther, Ryan Peters trying to come forward. Trying to make it happen. They put one car a lap down. That's Jeremy Morrow. Yes, he'll go a lap down. It might be another lap down for him, actually. No, it'll only be one. Oh, man, look at Duda and Schroeder out back. That was an interesting moment. It'll actually be the top 8 in points that make it to the chase at the end of the regular season. It's a 20-week season, 15 regular season races, 5 chase races. Winning you're in is not a factor. This is not a playoff system. This is a chase system. Winning just puts you at a better benefit in terms of the points. And boy, would guys like to do that here tonight. Bubba Winningham continues to lead the way. And the number 66, Moza Chevrolet Chevrolet. Out back of him, Robinson, Pfeiffer, Bourbonier, all in their first career starts. This was a factor last year as well. Adam Roberson, Jordan Anderson came so close to winning their first race in their first start. Pfeiffer, Robinson, Bourbonier, Tim Henderson, Jim Duda, Aubrey Thompson, Ryan Peters. All guys within the top 15 that have not won in this series. Even further back into the lead draft, Sean Kozier has yet to win in this series also. All guys in their first start that could win their first race. Bubba Winningham has started numerous races in this series, and he has yet to go to victory lane as well. And what a win it would be for the 66 if he could go to victory lane. 26 laps to go. Isaiah Dupree going to go at least one lap down. This might be a second lap for Dupree. It actually might be a third lap for Dupree. Not the start to the year that he wanted, and will not share another classic battle with Tyler Bentley, his age-old rival. But just you wait, that's going to happen. Season 1 rivals coming together again, and later in the season, I know we go back to Darlington, one of the locations from Season 1 that saw one of the best duels for the win and finishing sequences I have ever seen on this service. They will duel again at Darlington in a few weeks. 25 laps to go. Only 1/4 of the race remains. Maybe a pit stop, maybe not. Who knows? These guys don't care right now. They're racing like it's lap 100 every single time by the start-finish line. The racing has heated up a ton. Casey Pfeiffer in the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet, his first career start. And better hold that wheel straight, because pushing him is one of the most tenured drivers in the history of OP, Anthony English, who won here a season ago, looking to go back-to-back in season openers. Lee Robinson, his first start, second on the inside. Greg Bourbonier, his first start in the Miller Lite Chevrolet, third on the inside. And one of the winningest drivers in series history, Tyler Bentley, just outside the top 5 now, just breaking into it for the first time tonight. Can he make his way back to victory lane, a place he knows all too well in this series? Onto the Daytona Super Stretch. Bubba Winningham continues to lead the way. Lee Robinson, no choice but to push him right now. No third line out back just yet as guys continue to just hang around, wait for the opportunity to come to them to make a 3-wide move, to make a more aggressive move than perhaps they want to, but that they will need to. Pfeiffer leads that lap, 23 laps to go. And now the question on every driver's mind, well, at least my mind, the drivers probably have a good idea of it by now. Will I need to pit for fuel? Pfeiffer to the lead. Now drops across Bubba Winningham's nose. Now it's English and Bentley on the outside. English, oh man, he blinks a little bit. Manages to stay out front. Will nose ahead for the lead. Anthony English, looking to win another Daytona race in the Throwback Series. Pfeiffer. These are some of the most nervous moments as a driver. Your first start in a series at Daytona in a 40-car field, and you are now the leader with 22 to go. And the laps, I'll tell you, for some of these guys running up front, like a Pfeiffer, like a Robinson, that maybe haven't been in this spot before, these are going to feel eternal. Especially for Casey Pfeiffer, as he tries to close this one out. Oh, trouble! Out back. One car gets around. They're going to wreck on the back straightaway. Caution flag. Matt Hayden airborne. Hayden crashes. Strader crashes. And several other cars are involved. Could not tell who the first car was out of line. It might have been Stephen Luttrell. As this wreck started up the back straightaway. Let's see if we can get a better idea of exactly where this one is going to start. Let's go to the chopper camera first. Oh, car on the wall in front of him. It was Brad Young, and that got Luttrell way out of shape. He comes down, collects Strader, and then, unfortunately for the field, hooks a right, comes back up, going to collect Doug Johnson. Johnson's going to collect Hayden. You're going to see that. That's where Hayden, I think, gets popped up in the air. And again, we are so lucky this was not bigger than it was. Dustin Herman gets a piece. Oh, man, Chad Meadows, Rick Sanchez going to both get a piece. One of the first big incidents of the night. Takes place here inside of 25 to go. Let's get another view of it here, and I'll kind of show you exactly what's going on in front of Stephen Luttrell. That's Brad Young in front of him. I think Brad's going to collect the wall off the exit of turn number 2. Let's see it right here. Watch Brad Young. It's the Mopar car right in front of Luttrell. The orange and gray and white car on the outside. And you see, look at Young. Sliding up, sliding up, sliding up. He gets the wall. Luttrell is already basically pushing him. It slingshots him to his left. Strader nowhere for the Season 2 champ to go. Luttrell comes back up. He's going to hit Doug Johnson right there. And now Johnson is going to hit Hayden. And watch Matt Hayden here. Oh, man. Airborne for Matt Hayden. And then Dustin Herman as well. And he gets a big piece of the outside wall. Blows the front end off that machine. A big-time wreck. Down the back straightaway here at Daytona. So I'll try to get a couple more angles here. Try the blimp camera. Again, we should hopefully be able to see everything in this angle. Watch Luttrell and Young, the 82, the 89, up ahead of the field, up ahead of this group anyway. And you're going to see Young, you see sliding, 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 and watch him get the wall. And now watch the 82 slingshot when he hits him. Bang! Hits him, slingshots to his left. Nothing Luttrell can do. Strader, a bystander. And at this point, Luttrell's along for the ride. Doug Johnson, oh man. Tough break for the 388. As he's going to then collect Hayden and get him airborne. Look at this. Look at the 6-car catch. Some serious air. All 4 tires off the ground. And then Dustin Herman get to the back of Johnson, trying to miss it. Now watch Meadows and Sanchez as well, as they get a piece of it also. Let's go on board with John Guerra. As he had a pretty good look at this one. You're actually going to see it start up in front of him. See the 82, the 89, you're going to see him pop into frame. And now watch this. Watch Matt Hayden. Whoa! Airborne. It was Hayden. Let's see where Aubrey Thompson was right here. This might be a pretty good angle as well. Look at this. Cuts left, cuts right. Makes it through. Up front, 1 to go signal has been given. 18 to go, and we go back green, and now the sprint to the finish is on. Anthony English, last season's Daytona winner. He'll start first with Lee Robinson to his outside, the first-time starter. Tim Henderson making his debut. He'll start third. It'll be Casey Pfeiffer back in the 4th spot, again in his debut also. Greg Bourbonier will start 5th in his debut with Bubba Winningham in 6th. It'll be Jim Duda in 7th with John Guerra in 8th. It'll be, I believe that might be Rick Sanchez that will be 9th. And Tyler Bentley will be 10th. 18 to go. The sprint now is on. We're back to 23 cars on the lead lap. But all will now have a chance to win this race, go to victory lane, and start their season on the complete right foot. So we're getting ready to go back green. Who's going to get the job done? Will we see any more wrecks? The fuel is out the window, ladies and gentlemen. It is now a sprint race to the finish. You are done with pit stops for the night unless you have damage. It is now who makes it back to the line first 18 laps from now, or after a few green-white checkered attempts, should we need them. I believe we have 3 available to us here in tonight's race. Anthony English looking to play spoiler to a lot of the field behind him. As he comes into the Geico restart zone, he'll get us back underway. 18 to go. Green flag back in the air, and it's a great start for English. But don't slouch the 06 of Robinson. He got on the gas pretty quickly as well, and he's got more help. To turn 1. English for now leads. Robinson going to get close to clear, but going to have to stay up in front of Casey Pfeiffer. They'll drag race into turn number 2 and now onto the Daytona Super Stretch. Lee Robinson looking to win in his debut. Pfeiffer looking to do the same. Winningham looking to go to victory lane. Will be a really nice win for him. Robinson to the lead. Not going to be clear. English just surged to the inside with the help of Tim Henderson. Out back, not much doing yet, 3 wide as guys try to cycle their way forward. Lee Robinson, Anthony English continue to duel, 17 to go. The push is more aggressive, less room given, more room taken. The sun now all the way down. We are officially under the lights, under the night sky of Daytona with 17 laps to go. English, big surge. All the way to the race lead he goes. It'll be Tim Henderson out back of him. Now the push back to the outside. Here comes Robinson. Drag race to 3. Huge push top side. Lee Robinson in the lead. Will he clear in front of English? Oh, I think he had it, but he stays up. Might get another big run here off turn number 4. Let's see if they can all hold it. 3 deep on the top. That's more cars pushing. Pfeiffer doing the pushing up top right now, doing a masterful job. 16 laps to go. Top line has more cars. Bottom line has a little bit less energy right now, but English continues to hold strong thanks to the help of Tim Henderson. Into turn number 1, through the banking once again. John Guerra, 4th in line on the outside. Jim Duda, 4th in line on the inside. Rick Sanchez not out of this thing yet. Neither is Tyler Bentley. English going to try to lane switch. They're going to swallow. Oh, man, they tried to split him. They tried to center in the middle lane. English blinks a couple times. Robinson again in the lead. Now he's definitively clear, and he will drop down. Lee Robinson in his debut, and now he goes back up. Oh, but the caution flag, trouble out back. Aubrey Thompson sliding sideways. And into the outside wall, Harold Rothery, Tim Clements. More drivers coming along now. Garrett Streets. And others. And it started out back. Matt Hayden actually went all the way to the middle. I didn't see that. This started out back of the lead group. Oh, man, Rusty Modesty cuts the nose of Aubrey Thompson, and it is on from there. This is a melee. Big hit for Sean Kozier in the 97. Aubrey Thompson almost up and over. Rusty Modesty, Adam Pettit, Josh Terrett-Hill, Isaiah Dupree, Chris Puff. This is a big wreck. Oh. Harold Rothery, Tim Clements, Ron Walters. This is a considerable wreck. It all started with Aubrey Thompson, and several dominant cars of the day are in this one. Adam Pettit is one of them. Aubrey Thompson ran up front a lot tonight. A couple of really good cars. Josh Terrett-Hill as well. A guy that started outside of the front row, I believe started on the pole. Or, started 3rd. He's in this one as well. Tim Clements started 8th. He's in this one. A lot of really good race cars are torn up in this crash. So Thompson kind of makes a move to the middle here. And we saw Matt Hayden do this. You see him up ahead in the Xerox car. And Thompson goes to do the same thing. And Modesty, I think, is going to just try to cut across his nose here. And I don't know if he realizes that Aubrey's there. And, oh, man. Contact 5 and 56. Kozier gets into the wall. He's going to pound the outside wall a ton. Thompson up almost over. There's Terrett-Hill and Pettit. There's Garrett Streets. And Ron Walters and Chris Puff. A really sizable incident there. Try to take one more look here. Drone cam not really going to help, so we go to the chopper, and this kind of shows you what I mean. Look at this. So he squeezes between the 46 and the 5. Now watch Modesty on entry. Oh, he got loose. That car was out of shape. Something happened to Modesty. He was out of shape. And it's on from there. Complete melee here from about 12th on back. Thompson, Modesty, Pettit, Terrett-Hill, Dupree, Streets, Puff. You see all of them in the frame. A big-time wreck. Here at Daytona. And I was going to go on board with Alex Green, but unfortunately won't be able to see him. But Alex Green was able to squeak through it with no damage, as he reported. And we are under caution again, the 4th caution flag of the night. With what's going to be 13 to go, I believe we're going to get the green flag with 12 laps to go if the lights go out, which they do. Lee Robinson looking to finish off one of the storybook wins in the history of this series. Looking to win in his first start, go 1 for 1, and get his career off to a really fantastic opening. Anthony English is looking to play complete spoiler of that. Looking to win back-to-back season openers and creep up towards the double digits in wins in this series. Casey Pfeiffer debuting tonight as well, looking to get win number 1 in race number 1. Then Bubba Winningham looking for win number 1. And another start in this series for him. Greg Bourbonier also debuting tonight, looking to get win number 1. He'll start 5th. Matt Hayden, a man who knows victory lane well in this series, he'll start from 6th. John Guerra will start 7th, looking for win number 1. Jim Duda in his debut will start from 8th. Hunter Carlson won at Martinsville back in Season 2. He'll start 9th. Tyler Bentley, again, one of the winningest, maybe the winningest driver in series history. He'll start 10th, looking to regain his momentum. The rest of the cars on the lead lap are as follows. Rick Sanchez back here in 11th, with Cody Eldred in 12th. Ryan Peters and Travis Butte will be 13th and 14th. Alex Green and Aubrey Thompson will be 15th and 16th. Adam Pettit, Rusty Modesty, 17th and 18th. Kevin Guttler, 19th. Tim Henderson in 20th. Christian Schrader, 21st. Adam Kilday in 22nd are the lead lap cars. Actually, he is 23rd. Harold Rothery is 22nd. 23 cars on the lead lap, still with a chance to win. And several others looking to maintain their race long enough to be in contention, maybe catch a few cautions, maybe get back in this one. Pace car will take the hard left turn. Lee Robinson will bring the field into the restart zone on a late race restart here from Daytona. Here we go. 12 laps to go. Who's going to get the job done? Green flag back in the air. Stack up top, back around Jim Duda and Tyler Bentley. Everybody gets away okay. English almost tried to force his way in bottom, but Robinson's going to go bottom to top. Pfeiffer, Bourbonier, they got a much better push. Robinson's going to have to come back down. Pfeiffer's going to have to jab the brakes. Bourbonier has to get in the brakes as well. Checkup starting to move backwards towards Hunter Carlson. This is where the checkups can get dangerous. Everybody gets through it okay. Lee Robinson leads out of the Daytona Superstretch. Casey Pfeiffer goes high. Does Pfeiffer look a lane higher? No, he's just going to shove the Robinson machine. Bourbonier by his lonesome on the bottom. English third in line. Car going a lap down as they pass him. Tim Clements. Robinson leads to 3. Bourbonier on the inside. Big surge from the Miller Lite Chevy. John Guerra is with him. Robinson switches lanes. Caution flag is out once again. As they wreck out back, oh man, it's Chris Puff and Andrew Schroeder. And some other cars. Harold Rothery, Josh Terrett Hill, and others. So let's see what happened here back around the 91 of Chris Puff. Whoa, oh man. This is a wicked crash. Back here in turn 3, and this has all started as Tim Clements is stuck on the wall when they get to him. This is a monster wreck for Harold Rothery. You're watching back here, Rothery, that is that yellow 7 car on the inside. Chris Puff is the green and pink and or green and red and white 91. No, it is green, pink, and white, sorry. And they're all going to start to get loose as they went past, and Rothery gets turned by Luttrell and a massive hit. And Puff goes up and underneath the 7. Ron Walters, he's going to get a piece of it as well. Chad Meadows is involved. Brad Young is involved. That is a massive wreck. They got up the banking into turn 3. Watch this situation right here. Oh, man. As Rothery knocks down the turn 4. Oh, man, then Puff trying to save the car. He gets around himself. Schroeder as well. He's able to get involved in a secondary incident as well. Take another look going into 3. And so Rothery's going to the middle anyway on Pettit. See Adam Pettit up ahead. Rothery kind of fades middle, and here comes Clements off the wall. And now watch Stephen Luttrell. He realizes, oh man, I have to come back down. And he comes down a little bit too far and clips Harold Rothery and directs him into the outside wall. And man, couple big hits there for Harold Rothery. Ron Walters, Andrew Schroeder. There you see Schroeder where he got collected initially. And he and Chris Puff going to spin again here at the end of this wreck. As Puff tried to save the car, Schroeder, imagine, was doing the same here coming from the transition to the banking. And you're going to see Puff hit the wall. Schroeder's going to come spinning into frame here in just a moment. That's what brings out our 4th caution of the night. So we'll reset again. We're now inside of 10 laps to go. It continues to be Lee Robinson, but now it's a top 3 lockout of debuting drivers. Robinson, Pfeiffer, and Greg Bourbonnier. As they all 3 try to win in their first start, become some of the few drivers to win in their first career start. I'd have to go back in the records to know for sure what drivers have won in their first start in the series. Robinson, Pfeiffer, Bourbonnier trying to do so. English has won multiple times. Garrett and Winningham had multiple starts but no wins. Hayden has won multiple times. Carlson has won once at Martinsville. And then Jim Duda, he has not won in this series. Rick Sanchez, I can't recall back in 10th if he's won or not in this series. Ryan Peters debuting tonight in 11th. He's looking to win. Tyler Bentley, again, a ton of wins under his belt. Cody Eldred, a lot of starts, has yet to win. Aubrey Thompson, his first start tonight. Rusty Modesty, a lot of starts, has yet to win. Tim Henderson debuting. Travis Butte debuting. Kevin Gunther, some starts, no wins. Alex Green, a win at Talladega in Season 1. Christian Schrader, multiple wins and a championship under his belt. Adam Pettit debuting, and Adam Kilday, a few starts and no wins. A lot of drivers, you notice the pattern there in the top 22 cars. A lot of drivers with no wins. Mainly because there's a lot of new drivers, but also guys that have made starts and just haven't been in a position to win for one reason or another. We'll go through some schedule highlights after the race as we tell you what to look forward to going forward here into the next several weeks of this series. A lot of fun racetracks on the schedule. A lot of what's going to be some interesting racing here going on later on in the schedule. Starting next week at Las Vegas, the Sin City. And that, in these cars, wide, a lot of wide open racing, multi-groove perhaps. Rockingham, Kansas, Darlington coming up. Chicagoland, Richmond, the Irish Hills of Michigan. Iowa on the schedule, Old Atlanta, Texas. A lot of fun tracks on the schedule this season. It's going to be a fun one to watch. And this finish is going to be a fun one to watch. 8 laps to go. Can Lee Robinson close the deal? Green flag back in the air. We're back racing at Daytona. Much better start that time for Robinson. Does he go bottom to top? He's done it every time. You best believe he's going to do it again. On the bumper now of Pfeiffer. Inside, Bourbonnier got a nice start as well. Out back in third. Guerra in behind him. Robinson going to have to think about swapping lanes here. Going to let Bourbonnier. Is he going to let him get to his inside? He will. Robinson maintains the lead. Pfeiffer in behind him. Out back. Thompson 3 wide with Peters. Trouble right at the front. Casey Pfeiffer going sideways was the 87. John Guerra as well. Bourbonnier is in it, and the caution flag is out again. And right as we talked about, Casey Pfeiffer. Trouble for the 87. Up front for a majority of the late stages of this race. As something happens here off the Daytona super stretch. That gets him out of shape. Let's see. He's running second in line with Anthony English lined up behind him. A bit loose there. Drops it back to the right. Does he try to cut back down? English, oh man, English starting to split. And Pfeiffer not clear when he comes back down. And collects Bourbonier. Anthony English actually involved in this as well. Bourbonier, Guerra involved. Now, not a ton of damage to these cars. The biggest damage is going to be the loss of track position. But as Pfeiffer went to clear back down, he unfortunately was not clear of Anthony English, and as such, actually maybe a hit right there from the 44. Was there a second one? No. And Pfeiffer, unfortunately right here, he's kind of stuck, and as he tries to come back down, English just filled the void, and they collect Bourbonier and Guerra, and around they go. Tough break for these guys, man. Bourbonier, Pfeiffer, Guerra, all three had run well all night. And all three now, unfortunately, going to have to be clawing back to find their track position once again. Really tough break for these cars. We'll take one more look at it. We'll actually take an onboard look with Matt Hayden as well in just a second. You see these four cars kind of synchronize spin down to the apron, and several others drive on by around them. So let's take a look on board Matt Hayden's car, as he was not far behind this one. And you're going to see it start, and he's not going to have much time to react. Oh! The C's parked for him, and all of a sudden you're running third. Back up front, 6 laps to go, going to be 5 when we cross back by the start-finish line. Lee Robinson, Bubba Winningham, Matt Hayden, Hunter Carlson, Rick Sanchez, now your top 5. Jim Duda, Tyler Bentley, Aubrey Thompson, Anthony English, and Cody Eldred make up the top 10. We're now to crunch time. I mean, this is ultra crunch time. If you're going to go 3 wide, if you're going to throw your cards on the table, now is the time to do it. Now is the time where you want to put all your chips out there. You want to lay everything on the line to try to get to victory lane, and a few of these guys up front know how to do that. Hayden, Carlson, Bentley, English, all have experience doing that in this series. Sanchez does in other series. In this car especially. A guy with a ton of experience in this car, a guy with wins in this car. Has yet to find it on Thursday night. How does one join the series? Join the Discord of OP Racing, and I might be able to post a link in the chat to the Discord if you want to jump in and join us. It's very simple. Just you tell them you're here for Thursday. They get you all set up, get you a league invite. You can come out and run with us starting next week in Las Vegas. So, see if I can get that link posted here while we have a minor break in the action. There is the link to the OP Racing Discord. So if you want to come out and race with these guys next week, feel free to join, and it will get you all set up for next Thursday night at Las Vegas. So I said after the race we'd go through schedule highlights. Again, we'll go through a few of them now. Again, we go to Las Vegas next week. Then we are off for Thanksgiving, obviously. Then Rockingham, Kansas, and Darlington the 3 weeks after that. Christmas break on December the 26th. Then back in the new year for Chicagoland, Richmond, Michigan, Watkins Glen, Talladega, Bristol, Pocono, Iowa, Auto Club, and Daytona 2008, the bumpy Daytona. And then the Chase, will feature 5 races. Old Atlanta, Atlanta 2008, Charlotte, Martinsville, 2009 Texas, and Homestead, Miami will serve once again as the host of the championship race. So we are set to go one more time. 4 laps to go, now into the territory of green-white checkers, potentially deciding this race. 4 laps to go, and Lee Robinson again has to go through another restart, trying to put this one to bed. Green flag back in the air. We're off towards turn number 1. Great start, Robinson. You know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to jump topside. When does the move happen? Winningham Hayden, trouble right at the front. The big one's going to strike with 3 laps to go. Multiple cars up and over. Sanchez, Hayden, Duda, Tyler Bentley. Oh my goodness, the entire field is piling in right at the entrance of turn number 1. Oh my goodness. It's better to say who's not involved. Holy cow. The entire field piles in. Many cars damaged. The big one strikes with 4 laps to go and will send us to overtime. Well, this one's going to start with the outside line. Carlson, I don't know if he meant to try to split middle, but it happens anyway. I wonder if he wanted to go to the bottom and kind of thought better of it. And unfortunately, he can't really think better of it. And this turns into a melee. Look at this. Carlson into Winningham, and it is on from there. We're actually going to go up top here. Carlson turns Winningham down into Hayden. Hayden goes sideways. And from there, let's see who all gets involved. Rick Sanchez, Cody Eldred, Jim Duda, Tyler Bentley, Aubrey Thompson. The 24 of Butte. Actually, may have to go even further up. There's Bentley spinning. Eldred gets hit by Schroeder, Tim Clements, Brad Young, John Guerra, Kevin Gunther, Adam Kilday, Casey Pfeiffer, Chad Meadows, Robert Morrow, or Jeremy Morrow, excuse me, Garrett Streets. This is 15 cars. I literally don't know if there's a camera that we can use that you're going to be able to see everyone that was involved in this. Maybe the spectator camera. And let's just let it play and watch this one. As cars continue to pile in from out back. And that one got ugly in a hurry. I genuinely am not even sure at this point which camera we can go to show you exactly who was involved in this. There's the contact, excuse me, wow. There's the contact between Carlson and Winningham. They get into Hayden. Hayden slides sideways. And Duda gets jacked up by Eldred. Thompson tries to shoot a gap, nowhere to go. Bentley, a bystander, gets up on 2 wheels. Travis Butte gets into the 56. Guerra's involved out back. See guys scrambling to the apron, just trying to miss it. Sanchez, there's Schroeder, here's Clements, Young. I believe Bourbon here was in it as well. Chad Meadows. Garrett Streets comes in. Morrow comes in. The 97 of Kosher. A big, big wreck. We'll try to find a couple onboards of guys that missed it, but there were not many. I believe Christian Schrader might have missed it. Let's get his angle real quick. Look at this. Left, still going left, still going left, still going left. And luckily for him, gets out of it unscathed. I'm not sure really if there was anybody else that missed much of this incident. We're not going to be able to see them even if they did. Try Casey Pfeiffer's view here. Let's see what he got out of this. Not really going to be able to see. Oh, he might be okay as well. Never mind. There comes Brad Young. He is in it. All of a sudden, we were in overtime, and that was 15 cars that got out of shape. All right, let's reset it. 2 laps to go. First green-white checkered attempt. I believe we have 3 available to us. And here's how they'll line up. Another late race restart for Lee Robinson, as Lee continues to try to win this race in his debut. Hunter Carlson, only 1 win to his name at Martinsville in Season 2, I believe. He will start from second, row 2. English, but a bit of damage on the front of that car. He'll start third. Ryan Peters will start fourth. Row 3 will be Greg Bourbonier and Alex Green. Row 4, Rusty Modesty, Adam Pettit. Row 5, Christian Schrader, Tim Henderson. Rest of the cars on the lead lap. Casey Pfeiffer in 11th, Sean Kosher in 12th, Brad Young in 13th, Rick Sanchez in 14th, Kevin Gunther in 15th, Jim Duda in 16th, Bubba Winningham in 17th, Tyler Bentley in 18th, Cody Eldred in 19th, Travis Butte in 20th, John Garrett in 21st, and Aubrey Thompson in 22nd. Everybody else behind them is either over a lap down or out of the race. Here we go. Green-white checkered attempt number 1. Who wants it more? 2 laps to settle it. If we get back to the white flag, this race is official. Lee Robinson looking to capture victory number 1. Green flag back in the air, and away we go towards turn number 1. Not a great run on the outside. Carlson got a decent start, but his help did not. English got a pretty good start on the bottom. And that bottom lane got rolling, but Robinson does the same thing he's done all night, or at least in these restart moments, and he jumps up. Not going to jump back down. Robinson going to stay top here. English will surge bottom. Who will have the better help when they get on the Daytona Super Stretch? If we make another half a lap, this race is official. Carlson going to look 3 wide. Nobody going to go with him. Now his help will. Peters, they hang Robinson 3 wide middle. Carlson goes to the lead. Schrader jumps to the outside. His guys start to try to find a hole. It's Hunter Carlson that goes to the race lead, and now the blocking begins. Trouble out back. 97 around. Caution flag again, and we're going to another attempt. Oh, he gets turned again. He's flipping upside down. Goes Sean Kosher. As Travis Butte. Oh, no. And now he's going to barrel roll. Oh, he's back on his wheels. I'll see if he rolls away from this. He might be able to drive this thing away. Well, he will drive away. Oh. Sean Kosher got turned twice here in turns 3 and 4. Oh, boy. Well, the third line stalled. They had a good run. They stalled. Oh, Kosher got a piece of Jim Duda. He gets under the transition, and it's really hard to make this work. And Sanchez, he's trying to stab the brakes. Doesn't really work. Gets in the back of Kosher. Now, he only goes halfway around because he's going to get kind of bumped back straight. You see Travis Butte. Oh, man, actually, knocked the steering out of the 24. Because then, after these two got together the first time, we're going to continue to watch, and Butte's going to get into him again. Whoa. Butte turns down the hill. Boy. The 24 turns down the banking. Not sure if that was just his steering was off or if it was frustration. But he gets into the 97 and turns him over on his lid. Out back, Chad Meadows got involved in a secondary incident. 97 slides on his lid for about 1,000 feet. As guys cycle past on the inside, Schroeder and Thompson and Puff, and along comes Garrett Streets. You're going to see the 33 of the clumped up hood. At this point, Kosier's going to have to go to his pit box. He's not going to have any prospect of driving away from this wreck on his roof. And Streets plows right into the back of him. Pops him up 10 feet in the air. He's going to do a slow roll. And come to a halt on his wheels and drive away. Watch it in real time again here off turn number 4. So you got turn sideways, Butte. They hit once. Butte coming back down the hill. Well, yeah, it might have been a steering issue there. It doesn't look nearly as bad as it does in slow motion. Turns Kosier over and watch for Garrett Streets. Here he comes. It's like a heat-seeking missile. Right in the back of the 97. Pops him up and over, and he rolls onto his wheels and drives away. Attempt number 2 upcoming for a green-white checkered. Again, I'm going to try to verify, but I think it's 3 attempts that we have. But I'll try to verify that number for you. Oh, it's not even 3. I actually gave him credit for 1 too many. We've been told by Race Control it is 2 green-white checkered attempts, and as such, this is it. So here is how this is going to go down, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Should the caution flag fly at any point between now and making it back to the start-finish line, this race is over. It'll be ended by the moment of caution and iRacing's timing and scoring. If we make it back to the caution or make it back to the white flag, we will race it out under green. No need for all this time of caution discussion. We'll just race it out as normal. If they do not make it back, the race is over, and the winner will be determined via the time of caution. Here's how they'll line up. Hunter Carlson on the inside of row number 1. He'll have control of the restart. Anthony English to his outside, a battered and bruised number 44, but alive nonetheless. Greg Bourbonnier will start 3rd. Lee Robinson will now this time not have the virtue of controlling the start. He'll start 4th. Ryan Peters will start 5th. Alex Green in 6th. Rusty Modesty back in 7th. Casey Pfeiffer in 8th. Christian Strader in 9th. Tim Henderson in 10th. Here are the rest of the cars on the lead lap. Jim Duden 11th, Adam Pettit 12th, Kevin Gupter 13th, Cody Eldred 14th, Rick Sanchez 15th, Bubba Winningham 16th, Tyler Bentley 17th, John Guerra 18th, Brad Young 19th, Aubrey Thompson 20th, Sean Kosier 21st, Adam Kilday 22nd, and Josh Terrett Hill gets back on the lead lap in 23rd. Final attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Will we get back to the white flag, or is the caution flag going to bring it to a halt? Hunter Carlson looking for win number 2 in his career and number 1 on the season. English looking to play spoiler, and some debuting drivers behind them. Green flag will come back out. 2 laps to go at Daytona. Good start for Carlson. Bad start for Bourbonnier. Pretty good start for the 2 cars up top, English and Lee Robinson. Where will the first big move come from? Will we make it back to the white flag, or will we end it under caution? Through turns 1 and 2, green light still on. Does Carlson throw a block here on the end of the super stretch? He does not. Anthony English to the outside with Lee Robinson. Alex Green in tow. Several hungry cars behind them. English to the point. Coming back to the white flag. Green lights are still on. Robinson going to look high. He's going to look 3 wide. Robinson hangs out English. Carlson back to the lead. Green will hang with Anthony English in the middle. Greg Bourbonnier, this is going to allow him an opportunity to get up. Here comes Peters. He gets to the bumper of English. He's going to jump all the way high. White flag, we're going to settle it right here. Carlson, you got to make that mirror wide. Bourbonier and Peters in the mirror. English trying to come back. Peters throws the block. Slams the door in his face. Back to turn number 1. Ryan Peters to the outside. Robinson upstairs on the safer barrier. Bourbonier trying to get himself a window here. Casey Pfeiffer out of nowhere on this last restart. Bourbonier, he's going to get clear to the middle. Does he jump out? Not yet. Still not yet. Down the back. Peters back to the middle. They're going to wreck out back. Anthony English, big wreck behind the leaders. It's a 2-car race back to the start-finish line. Carlson and Peters, this one's not over yet. Drag race. Modesty's still in it as well. Does Rusty Modesty have time to make it back? 100 feet from the line. Peters, Carlson, all the way to the line. It's going to be a photo finish. Who's going to get here first? Hunter Carlson wins at Daytona and steals away Ryan Peters' first career win. That was as frantic gets. And Hunter Carlson takes a deep breath and is going to victory lane. Adam Pettit comes forward to 4th. Tyler Bentley comes forward to 6th. And some of these guys just came out of nowhere. As Hunter Carlson will win Daytona. He'll leave the points leader. And he will be the one that gets the spoils. He'll do the burnout here on the front stretch as the first winner of the season. He'll go to the grass, and I imagine he had Earnhardt in mind when he did it on the Daytona logo. He went a little bit too far for that. Let's see if he makes his way back to the Daytona letters here on the infield. Again, I imagine he had Earnhardt on the mind. And he will now burn it down right on that Daytona logo. Hunter Carlson, your winner from Daytona. He's going to hit the Polish victory lap as well. And a nice bout of tribute. He'll get down to the end of pit road. He'll do some more donuts. And Hunter Carlson, the winner from Daytona. We'll go through your finishing results, and then we'll get to your top 3 foursome post-race interviews. So stick with us here on PGR eSports. Hunter Carlson comes away with a victory here tonight at Daytona, with Ryan Peters coming up just short in the 2nd position. It's Rusty Modesty who will finish in 3rd. Adam Pettit finishes 4th tonight, with Tim Henderson in 5th. Tyler Bentley finishes 6th, Kevin Gunther in 7th, Cody Eldred in 8th, Anthony English in 9th, and John Guerra rounds out the top 10. Greg Bourbonier finishes 11th, Alex Green in 12th, Aubrey Thompson 13th, Rick Sanchez in 14th, Brad Young in 15th, Sean Cozier in 16th, Lee Robinson in 17th, Jim Duda back in the 18th position, Christian Strader 19th, and Casey Pfeiffer rounding out the top 20. Bubba Winningham 21st, Adam Kilday 22nd, Jeremy Morrow 23rd, Chad Meadows 24th, Ron Walters in 25th, Chris Muff in 26th, Josh Terrett Hill in 27th. It'll be Andrew Schroeder in 28th, Tim Clements 29th, and Travis Butte in 30th. Garrett Streets 31st, Stephen Luttrell 32nd, Matt Hayden 33rd, Harold Rothery 34th, Dustin Herman 35th, Isaiah Dupree 36th, Doug Johnson 37th, Blake Pursley 38th, and Matthew Karakoff in 39th. We're actually going to go back. We're going to take a quick look at the replay. I do want to watch a quick last lap replay of what happened behind the leaders, because obviously a bit of a crash out back, so I do want to go back and see what happens here on the entry of turn number 3 as Anthony English was one of the first cars I saw get around as he gets hooked. Lee Robinson, Casey Pfeiffer, Greg Bourbonier. The wreck actually wasn't quite as big as I thought it was. Did they come back up? Well, it doesn't appear that they did. Oh, they did. Lee Robinson, Christian Strader, and others wrecking out back. Here's your finish. We'll get one more look at the finish as well. As they come down the line to finish this one off, it was a photo finish, and in the end, it's Modesty giving Carlson a push in the tri oval that wins him the race. Well, oh, geez, wrong way. Let's see if we can get this to go the right way, and then we'll get into our post-race interviews. This was as close gets for a moment. And then Modesty gives Carlson just that added bit of help, and it's able to win him the race. There's the margin of victory tonight from Daytona as Hunter Carlson gets the job done. We're going to go to your top 3 post-race interviews now. Stick with us here on PGR eSports. We'll be right back as we get set to talk to your top 3 from tonight's race. Back live from the Daytona International Speedway. We're going to start into your post-race interviews now. We'll start with none other than the third place finisher of Rusty Modesty in the 5. Oh, cracked him in the wrong place. Hold on. Oh, jeez. It's early season for me too, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to get him in the broadcast booth. It's the 5 of Rusty Modesty. Rusty, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dawson.
Well, up and down, I think, describes most everybody on tracks tonight. It feels like a lot of guys from the front to the back, to the front, to the back in wrecks, trouble on pit road. I mean, a long, long, long night. At the end of it, you squeak through the wreck, you come home third. Still looking for that first victory, but I got to imagine third feels pretty good after a chaotic race like that.
Yeah, after this many cars and that many laps here, yeah, definitely happy with that. And yeah, we saw the front and the back multiple times tonight. Actually, more the back than anything. I'm looking now, 24 incident points in this one. That's a lot. That is a lot. A lot of wrecks, especially towards the late stage there.
Well, nonetheless, despite the chaos, a third place finish for you. Look, the series takes a break. Obviously, last season doesn't finish, but we saw a few of you guys running really well towards the end of last season. So, kind of an unorthodox way to end a season early, kind of take an extended break. How did you translate the momentum from that season here into this one? And how is it going to contribute here to your run in season 4?
I mean, we know that there's a certain group here that have raced these before. They're really great people to race around. You kind of know what you're in against. We obviously have a new crop of people coming in, which is great. So it's going to take a few races for frankly us to just get used to racing with each other. So really happy with the turnout and the big car count. Obviously, it's a plate drafting kind of track. So I think we'll have a little higher turnout than next week. So, but I'm anxious to see, hey, what kind of return do we get next week? Because at the end of the day, these cars really shine on the mile and a half or that kind of big open ovals is where these things really shine. So really anxious to see who else comes with us, and obviously we've learned a lot through the past few seasons of this car, and it's funny to kind of see the new guys pick some of those nuances up as well.
Well, absolutely. Well, it's a third place finish for you here tonight at Daytona. So before I let you go and enjoy it and kind of take a second after a chaotic ending here at Daytona, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to the couple teams out there, all Challenger Motorsports and Misfit Motorsports. So appreciate all these guys who we race with every week. And shout out to you, Dawson. Love your broadcast. Thanks for doing what you do, and all the league owners that put this on. Appreciate it. It's good fun.
Well, it's going to be a fun season. It gets off to a fun start tonight. A good start for you. A third place finish. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dawson.
Rusty Modesty, the third place finisher here tonight, moves to the second step of the podium. The man that for a split second, I thought had the job done. I thought he had a victory, and he comes up just one spot short. That is Ryan Peters in the 18.
Down.
Hey, Ryan, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
I'm here. What's up, Dawson?
Well, look, a fun run for everyone tonight, a chaotic one towards the end. And look, a couple times on that last restart, playing Pied Piper, going between the lines. Take me through what was going through your head on the last lap as you come up, unfortunately, one spot short of your first career win in your first start.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind as we crossed the finish line was to breathe. Don't think I did that for that whole entire green-white checker run. It looked like the bottom line was solidified, and it was going to be hard to beat. I was looking in my rearview mirror trying to block middle and high, and I don't know if I caused the wreck. If I did, I wasn't trying to cause the wreck. Obviously, we had 2 turns to go, but it worked out. I'm not a super speedway racer. I'm more mile and a half, so to get a top 2 is kind of beyond belief for me, to be honest.
Well, nonetheless, it happened here. You end up at the good end of the scramble there on the last lap and come up one spot short. So, obviously, like you said, not a super speedway guy. So, being a new driver to the series, this is kind of your introduction to everybody, to the viewers, to me, to these guys that have been around here for a while as well. So, what can we expect out of this car this season? You said you're not a super speedway guy. Well, we got a lot of non-super speedways coming up. What can we expect out of you in the weeks to come?
I think the biggest thing with me is being patient, not burning tires, saving tires. My partner, the 24 car Travis Butt, he's been helping me out a lot. I'm pretty much green to iRacing. I've been doing it for about 7 months now, so I try to take everything in. I try to race as much as I can to learn each car. The Gen 4 are my favorite. It's a little less forgiving than others, and I think that's the challenge of it, and that's what makes it more fun. So yeah, just being a part of a league that got to see as many green flag runs that we did today for 40 some laps. I mean, that's an awesome introductory to a new league. So I'm pumped about that.
Well, certainly was a fun one to watch. A lot of twists and turns. At the end of the night, a second place finish for you. So before I let you go and kind of enjoy this one, and like you said, breathe just like I have to. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out here before I let you go?
Yeah, I like to shout out my teammate Travis Butt. We got a YouTube channel, Stuck in the Catch Fence, that we talk NASCAR and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys had a great broadcast to be on that side of it. So always tune in here to OP Racing and what you guys got going on with PGR eSports. And if you want to catch some more NASCAR on my end for some talk and things like that, Stuck in the Catch Fence. But outside of that, let's have a great season.
Completely agree. Off to a good start here tonight at Daytona. It's a second place finish for you. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate, and we will talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. God bless.
Ryan Peters, what a run, and really well spoken as well about, look, I'm not a super speedway guy, but I mean, hey, certainly looked like one down the Daytona super stretch that last time around. And nice plug to some NASCAR talk as well. So the NASCAR season coming to an end, but next season only 13 weeks away. So check those guys out as well. Finally, on the first step of the podium, and I got to imagine this man's pretty happy. That burnout told me he was pretty happy about this one. His first win in a season and a half. It's Hunter Carlson in the 32. Hey, Hunter, it's Dawson the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Man, I saw the burnout. I got to imagine this one feels pretty good. You won back at Martinsville a couple seasons ago. That kind of, at the time I said it saved your season. Well, no better way to start it than in Victory Lane. And look, I saw the celebration. This one's got to mean a lot to you. How do you feel about winning here in the season opener?
Oh, man. Coming into this season, I just saw how big of a competition this field was going to be. And the thing I wanted to do with this season was just win one race. And just to start the season this way is amazing. It feels great. I'm super pumped.
Well, I am as well after watching that finish. What a finish. You're coming to the green flag, and obviously you've been up front, but guys have kind of cycled out of your way. They've wrecked in front of you. You've had to miss wrecks, and now all of a sudden you look up and you're the control car on the final restart. Take me through what's going through your mind. Take me through what you're thinking as you come off turn 2. You're the leader, but you got guys out back. Obviously, Ryan Peters and company that are trying to make a move.
Well, I was looking at the cars behind me on the inside when we're getting the one to go signal, and I'm looking. I see Christian back there. I see Rusty back there. And I see Gregory back there. All people that I know. I know how they race, and I figured if we can get tight on the bottom lane, I don't think anyone on the top can beat us. And I don't think it would have happened I think it would have been really close at the end, but no one with the wreck, that just kind of pulled the point. I just kind of had a hope for a push from Rusty there at the end to get the win.
Well, you get the push from Rusty. It's enough to get you across the start-finish line. And obviously now this season a little bit different. The points system a little bit different than we're used to, a chase system. So no better way to start your regular season and kind of the quest to get into that chase than with a win. You're the points leader exiting Daytona. What does this do for your momentum this season as we get into the deeper portions, the non-super speedway tracks on the schedule?
It's for sure gonna help. It's gonna give me a lot more confidence to be able to go out and make moves I normally wouldn't if I had finished 15th to 20th, and it's gonna give me the confidence to go out, race hard, and try to just keep piling up either the wins or even the top fives.
Well, absolutely. Well, no better way to start than with a win. You win here tonight. So before we let you go and enjoy it and celebrate just a little bit, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank TJ Speenauer with Studio A6. Thank you for your support always. The cars always look good. They're always on point. And I want to thank Christian, Rusty, Matt, anyone else in that Discord call, Cody, Izzy. We tried to work together the best we could. I feel like we did a really good job at the end, and one of us got the win. I'll take it.
Well, victory for you. Your second in your career here in the Throwback Series. So we're going to let you go and celebrate it and enjoy it. And go do that. We'll talk to you real soon.
All right. Thank you.
Hunter Carlson, the 32-year winner from Daytona. What a race. What a finish. And what a way to start a season. 40 cars on track. It's really fun racing for the first 75 laps. A bit of chaos at the end, but hey, it's Daytona. It's a super speedway. It's bound to happen. It always does. We expected it. And nonetheless, at the end of it, a really great finish to go along with it. Hunter Carlson winning by half a car length over Ryan Peters and Rusty Modesty. So welcome to the Throwback Series, ladies and gentlemen. We're officially back. The season's underway. We're off and running. Next week, next Thursday night, we'll be at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we get into the kind of the meat of this sandwich, if you will, this schedule, where we go to the non-super speedways and kind of start to, have these long green flag run 1.5 mile races, these tire-saving races we're so used to with this car. Cannot wait to get this season underway and really hit into the middle portions of the season and see who's going to separate themselves at the top of the points. Hunter Carlson wins at Daytona. Head over to the other stream on PGR eSports right now. The Intimidator Super Speedway Series well underway from Daytona, the Gen 6 race cars with Austin Green and Matt Metler, my colleagues. They're going to have you in great hands for tonight's action with a lot of big names. Again, Rajah Caruth, Malik Ray, Garrett Maines, Daniel Falkenham, maybe even Steven Wilson. Who knows who you'll see over there in the PGR eSports Intimidator Super Speedway Series. Go check it out right now in the Gen 6 cars. We'll be back next Thursday, same time, 8:50 to 9 p.m. on the East Coast, hopefully with less technical issues this time. I cannot wait to see you all out here next time. Please come back, hit subscribe if you like what you saw, and come back next week when we're back in the Sin City. That's going to do it for me. My name is Dawson Wise. You've been